Alrighty, guys, we're back for Rakdos Burn, and this is a Final Fantasy Standard brew, and I'm Red Cat. Let's briefly go over the deck, then hop right into some ranked. But first things first, this was a suggestion down in the comments, so thank you so much for the suggestion. It's gonna be a fun one. We got a lot of burn pieces packed in, all for Burst Lightning. We have 3 Bolt Waves, and all for Lightning Strike as well. Now we're rocking Coruscation Mage in here too. This is a 2-mana 2/2 Otter Wizard, which is going to be important. It has Offspring for 2, so it's going to be treated as a 4-mana card sometimes, and honestly, more than you would expect. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, this creature deals 1 damage to each opponent. Nice. Also rocking Kuja, Genome Sorcerer. It's a 4-mana 3/4 legendary creature rocking Rakdos colors up there. Human Mutant Wizard. At the beginning of your end step, you create a 0/1 black wizard creature token with whenever you cast a non-creature spell, this token deals 1 damage to each opponent. Then, if you control 4 or more wizards, transform Kuja. So that includes itself, which is pretty cool. In other words, it would say other wizards, right? Now you transform it into Trance Kuja, Fate Defied, which is a 4/6 legendary creature. If a wizard you control would deal damage to a permanent or player, it deals double that damage instead. Really neat. Now, how else are we going to be producing these wizards? Well, we have Circle of Power. It's a 4-mana sorcery. Draw 2 cards, lose 2 life, create one of those 0/1 black wizards with the wizard ability that I'm not going to keep reading, right? Also, wizards you control get +1/+0 and gain lifelink until end of turn. Pretty cool top end card, maybe a little janky too. For 4 mana, but yeah, it's kind of neat. Cornered by Black Mages is a 3-mana sorcery. Target opponent sacrifices a creature of their choice. Create a 0/1 Black Wizard creature token with the wizard ability. Nice. All 4 of those packed in. All 4 Black Mages Rod too. It's a 2-mana artifact equipment equipped for 3. It has job select, so it comes in with a 1/1 hero, and then you equip this to it. Equipped creature gets +1/+0 and has, whenever you cast a non-creature spell, this creature deals 1 damage to each opponent and is a wizard in addition to its other types. Okay, all right, sweet. So now we do have more non-creature spells and cheap ones at that. We have all 3 Duress, which rarely misses. We also have a Desperate Measures in here too. 1 mana instant speed, target creature gets +1/-1 until end of turn. When it dies under your control this turn, draw 2 cards. So you could potentially pop like an early Heartfire hero with Desperate Measures, or maybe you need more cards in your hand and you pop one of your 0/1 wizards to draw 2 or something. So a little bit of utility. We do have more ways to see more off the top though. Opera Love Song, 2 mana instant speed. You get to choose one of these. Exile the top 2 cards of your library. You may play those cards until your next end step. Okay, so it's not quite Ren's Resolve, right? So you got to be careful when you are playing this, or wait till the very last moment of the opponent's turn or something, right? You can keep Opera Love Song open with a Lightning Strike, which is really cool. Or you can choose this bottom ability. 1 or 2 target creatures each get +2/+0 until end of turn, which could be pretty significant if the opponent doesn't have many blockers on the board. You could swing in with some of your like 0/1 wizards or your 2/1 Black Mage's Rod wizards or something. If you're actually getting damage through, giving a couple of them +2/+0 being an extra 4 damage while poking the opponent's face with all the extra wizard damage too, that could actually be pretty disgusting and a lot of damage just from nowhere. Screaming Nemesis, making the cut as a 4 of. It's kind of essential for burn because you got to take out the life gain from the opponent because burn fizzles out pretty fast, right? So there's going to be a lot of moments where you guys already know you're going to burst lightning your own Screaming Nemesis to do 2 damage to the opponent's face that way, just to get lifelink, or yeah, well, lifelink's one of the problems, right? Just to get life gain out of the equation. Over in the mana base, I think it's actually going to be pretty greedy, guys. So we have a lot of dual land packed in, all 4 of the cliffs. We have all 4 of the Sulfurous Springs, even rocking a 1 of Starting Town, and all 4 Blazemire Verge, which at first is just going to be tapping for a swamp until you actually have a swamp or a mountain. And then also in the mana base, we have a couple Lindblum Industrial Regencies. Has an adventure side at instant speed, creates one of those 0/1 wizards. Sweet. Honorable mentions. Queen Braun did not make the cut. I think it will be a little bit janky for what this deck list is trying to do. So yeah, not this time, but maybe as like a 1 of it could be pretty cool. Okay, guys, I do my dandiest to save the more in-depth discussion for the end of the video, so look forward to that. In the meantime, let's go ahead, take this into some ranked, see how we do. All right, looks like we're getting right into that first game. What am I expecting from the build? I don't know. I have no idea. It should be pretty decent, I guess. We'll see, we'll see. This is one of those ones where I have to see it in action to know. Like, there's a lot of removal floating about, so how effectively are we going to keep wizards on the board to keep poking at the opponent's face, you know? I'm going to be very patient with this burst lightning. All right, a mountain's good. Gotta get the Black Mage's Rod down before it gets hit by a negate, which we are seeing a lot more negate in main board, so... Well, I only play best of one, so everything's a main board, but you guys know what I mean. Alright, Bushwhack for a land. It is going to be a bounce off. Alright. Lindblum. I'm going to get that down tapped so we have 4 for the Coruscation Mage when it comes time. That's totally fine. But we can still get one of the mages down and then Offspring next turn too. Offspring should be pretty good against bounce deck lists. This is probably, this town ain't big enough. Serpents and crabs. I can't remember what they're called right now. Wow, a bounce off. Holy cow. Third bounce off from the opponent, cornered by Black Mages, is decent. Now we have a couple turns of Offspring on 2 different Coruscation Mages, which is pretty good, especially if we get to keep them around before the Circle of Power. Seed of Hope. Yeah, this town ain't big enough. Serpents and crabs. No idea. Oh, Tolarian Terror. That's what it's called. Now what's the crab called? Luckily, we don't have to worry. Oh, a second terror. Well, okay. I guess we have to worry a little bit here. 5th mana is pretty good because we can get Coruscation Mage down and then cornered by Black Mages. Yeah. Yeah, that's what we want to do, right? I think so. Get one of the terrors off the board and poke the opponent's face for 3, and then get another wizard on the board too, for when it comes time for Circle of Power. And then boosting all the wizards before a swing, we don't really mind them blocking with the terror off of that swing. I hope. We don't want to forget that we can re-equip the Black Mage's Rod to give a creature that bottom ability too. Up the beanstalk. A 3rd terror is pretty terrifying as they draw 2 here. Restocking their hand, do they find the mana they need? Okay, I will take the 5 gladly. Duress. All right. So yeah, we could go 3 mana. Equip that. Duress and Burst Lightning for the turn. Keep Circle of Power as a surprise next turn, maybe? Circle of Power generates the wizard, though, too. We get a full swing here. Okay. Alright, I talked myself into the Circle of Power. Plus, we gain a good chunk of life. They go down to 13. Generate the wizard here, too. Lindblum. I'm going to save that for the adventure side this time. Lightning Strike's pretty good. Terror has Ward. Yeah, Duress could be good, but I think we just Burst Lightning the opponent's face to maximize damage. It'd be nice if we could have taken out the Terror, but this is another 5-7 getting through, and then another 6 on the ground here. Holy cow, guys, that's lethal damage. Oh my goodness. All right, that's what I'm talking about. Number one, we got a little lucky because the opponent drew so much, yet they missed their 4th mana, and all it had to be was an open blue source and into the Flood Maw, and they would have survived the turn. That doesn't mean they would have survived the turn after that or after that one, right? If we were able to successfully block their terrors or anything. Not like we needed to, because boy, we gained a lot of life that turn from the Circle. Circle, I'm so sorry for calling you janky. Absolutely essential in that game, right? Well, I guess not absolutely essential. Absolutely essential if they didn't get unlucky, right? I think so. If that's how I want to say it. Triple mountains with a cornered by black mages in hand. This is kind of bad. I'm gonna keep it. We had such a good first game. Who cares? let's push the deck list to its absolute limits. See what we can pull off. I'm gonna be very patient with this Burst Lightning, just like the first game. Having a little bit of patience with it goes a long way for slipping extra damage through. While they're tapped out, getting the Coruscation Mage down is fine. We don't have a guaranteed 4th mana on 4, so saving the Coruscation Mage for 4 with the Offspring doesn't make too much sense to me. I would say the Lightning Strike. Cornered by Black Mages, they know that we can't cast it, so Lightning Strike is a goner. And Coruscation Mage is a goner. But Screaming Nemesis, ooh, Screaming Nemesis number 2. Wow, that's pretty good. That's pretty good, man. Of course, it could just get hit by some generic spot removal, but still. 4th mana, nice. Okay. Okay, keeping Burst Lightning open, I suppose. We'll see. We'll see. It's GG opponent. Sometimes all it takes is Screaming Nemesis, right? Holy cow, dude. Okay, I'm getting a little nervous because I'm actually I'm overdue for some losses, man. Don't quote me on this, but the last video, I think I had 100% win rate. I'm not 100% certain. Whenever I do, I always doubt it, and I always go back in the video and make sure, because sometimes I like putting that in the title or something. But then I went right into this video, and now we're just winning, and it just feels like we're overdue. So I'm getting nervous. See what's in the opponent's hand. Yeah, we don't have to be patient with Duress. What we want to do is hit the goodies. Oh. I think Glimpse the Core, actually. That's a tough decision, because Snakeskin Veil is pretty good too, but we don't really target except for our burn. And now we can play around the Snakeskin Veil too. Cornered by Black Mages, they'll just, they'll get rid of the smallest Saz's Chocobo. Which I guess they're both the same, so I don't know why I said it like that. Honestly, Screaming Nemesis just swinging in is pretty good too. They do have Snakeskin Veil, so we really don't want to swing with this, I would say. And I guess we'll save the Screaming Nemesis as a surprise for 2 turns in a row, and we really should get rid of one of the Saz's Chocobos too. And just establishing the Black Mages as soon as possible. That way, any amount of instants or sorceries that we top deck become a little bit more deadly. Alright, no attacks, because I think that would be a pretty good combat trick for them. What do you guys think? Yeah, instead of... Yeah. I don't know. Taking the Veil. I think we took the right thing. Glimpse the Core. They had double Saz's Chocobo in hand. There's their third. Saz's Chocobo's a 2/3. They go for the swing. We take it. All right. Circle of Power. Wow. 3 mana open for the opponent, guys. I mean, we should probably just go Circle of Power, right? We probably should. It'd be nice to have a bigger swing, but this is how we see more off the top. Again, like Screaming Nemesis a couple turns in a row. Wow. Third Screaming Nemesis. Okay. See if they have a surprise for us. They do not. We go back up to 20. And we also have Offspring on the Coruscation Mage. Tifa's scary. We should be very cautious next turn. Yeah, Tifa's very scary. I think I will just go Coruscation Mage now that we found mana. Just skip the Offspring on this. The Trample on Tifa is a problem because it just deals enough damage to the Nemesis. So we'd only do 3 if we block with Nemesis, right? Also, they probably don't trade Nemesis into the Chocobo, especially since they don't know what's left in hand too. So I will swing with the Nemesis this turn and not worry about blocks, and I hope that's okay. I mean, technically, even with blocks, they could significantly pop off with Tifa next turn. I'd say it's more risky to save a Nemesis as a blocker. Oh! That's right, it's not a trade thanks to the Snakeskin Veil. That's right, guys. I did overlook that. We are just going to hit their face because of the Snakeskin Veil. As a matter of fact, since Saz's Chocobo doesn't have Trample, maybe we should have kept the Nemesis to block the Saz's Chocobo, or at least hold it up, right? They are going to boost the Tifa because now doubling Tifa's power a few times over. Yeah, they have Escape Tunnel. Ooh. I don't know why they're doing it now. Maybe they have another one in hand. Even so, they wanted to do that on their turn, right? Oh, wait, it comes out tapped, though. They wanted to max the Awaken the Woods. Put it onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. Yes, they want to max out Awaken the Woods. Looks like they do miss their 5th mana, so they're only doubling twice here, which is kind of good news, as we can take the 14 and try to win on the backswing. They do just swing with the Chocobo, which I'm just going to take the 6, and I hope that's okay. Ow. Mana. Okay. Man, I really wish we were actually poking damage through to the opponent's face right now, because the Nemesis is just awkward. Because we could swing, but we could die next turn. Maybe, but probably not. Maybe it's a bigger Awaken the Woods next turn. We make it so that way they can only swing with Tifa. Could have a double block with the Nemesis instead of swinging. Make sure we survive. I call these tough decisions because we don't know when the explosion of Tifa is going to happen. They find the 5th mana, maybe another Awaken the Woods for X is 5, and then we just die. Pretty much no matter what, right? So, yeah, I guess at that point maybe swinging, but they kept enough blockers back. It is going to be Awaken the Woods for X is 4, and we should be dead no matter what, as Tifa is 64-3. Oh, dear. All right, well, it's too bad we don't have, like, First Strike over here or something, right? We can block here successfully. And yeah, Tifa's trampling damage getting through before any extra damage from our Nemesis can pop the opponent's face. Hey, good game opponent. I'd say this was anyone's for sure. It was only a matter of time until Tifa got there, for real. So we really desperately needed some of our burn or another way to actually deal with the Tifa. And in this deck list, it actually is just burn, right? Like just finding a lightning strike popped the Tifa. But we also knew, no, they used the Snakeskin Veil that one turn. This could have come down to me, guys. No, maybe not. They wouldn't have swung with the Saz's Chocobo if we would have played Screaming Nemesis a turn sooner. Remember, they just swung with the Chocobo that one turn. They wouldn't have swung there. If they did, then we would have blocked with Nemesis, used the Nemesis to pop the Tifa. And that swing wasn't really relevant anyways because the Tifa was about to pop off regardless. Yeah, so just one of our burn pieces could have been pretty good. We had enough mana where a Burst Lightning would have worked too. And just a full power, full kicker cost, right? All right. Let's keep it. Yeah, I think we'll find the second black source for the Cornered by Black Mages. Oh, guys, while I have you here in the middle of the video, make sure you check out that description where we do have that Discord link as well as that Patreon link too if you're interested in joining either of those up or supporting the channel that way. Also, guys, for the YouTube side of things, I think I forgot to bring this up in yesterday's video. Oh, no. Anyways, YouTube side of things. If you like the video, make sure you actually drop it a like. Ooh, okay, Corey Steelcutter, get out of here, huh? Anyways, if you enjoy the channel, then consider subscribing. It really does help out the channel, so thank you. Lightning Strike. Okay, I'll keep it open. No, I'll get the Coruscation Mage down. Keeping Lightning Strike open after they get their third to pop a Vivi is better than popping a Monastery Swiftspear. They find another Corey Steelcutter, guys. Uh-oh. It's not a good trade for us. We do find the second black mana, so we probably do just go Cornered by Black Mages. Pop the Otter. They're gonna start generating tokens on Corey Steelcutter, which is definitely a problem for this deck list for sure. That's what the Duress is for, right? And like I said, no good trades with the Coruscation Mage. We swing. I don't plan on blocking with it. I don't plan on dying this turn either, so we're safe to swing, I would say. Swiftspear and opt, and see if they find like a Monstrous Rage or something. Pack onto the Swiftspear. I'm pretty sure we don't block with the Wizard, especially with Circle of Power in hand. No blocks. I think they'd want to Burst Lightning our face anyways if it is going to be a Burst Lightning. No, they're going to hold it all open. There's problems. There's problems, man. All right, Circle of Power. I still don't plan on dying next turn, so... Okay, Desperate Measures is okay. We're fine. We're totally fine. It was not a Burst Lightning. We go up to 16. Okay, we've been seeing a lot of mana. For 22 mana, this has been a lot of mana, right? But realistically, it's kind of good because we have a lot of top end. And even when we don't have a lot of top end, we have Offspring on Coruscation Mage and everything too. Okay, another token on the Corey Steelcutter is very likely here. We need a lot of excess burn to the opponent's face with the extra mana. Wow. They just swing with Swiftspear, guys. That's probably great news for us as they're getting a little scared of how much damage we can actually pull through here. Black Mage's Rod is really good, right? Let's get that down. 3 damage to the opponent's face. And then maybe we can pull off the Lightning Strike to the opponent's face. Okay. And then maybe we can pull off the Desperate Measures. Opponent drops us the nice deck. Thank you, opponent. Thank you. Holy cow, dude. We're doing the thing. I'm a little taken aback by how aggressive this can actually be. Pulling off victories against Corey Steelcutter always feels good too. The first Duress was pretty essential because two, you guys already know this, two Quarry Steelcutters on the board is just devastating. It just completely runs away with the game. Could you imagine if they were generating an extra monk on each of those turns? I think we would have died, but something crazy here, guys, is the Circle of Power really coming in handy. I don't think that means we want more than two of them on the top, but we go first. We're going to give this a shot. I'm pretty sure we don't want to be patient with the Duress. We keep doing this when we see it in our turn one. Dreadmaw's Ire. Uh-oh, Fling. Look at this. This is fun. Cacophony Scamp, Heartfire Hero. Yeah, this is a version of Hyper Aggro that we just don't see enough, in my opinion, because it can be equally as fast as Mono Red Aggro or Quarry Steelcutter. Alright. We're probably in danger, especially since we're taking pain damage 2 turns in a row. We could have popped the Swiss Spear, but that's our turn then. And then they drop Cacophony Scamp, Heartfire Hero on the same turn. So I think we take that trade, actually, right? That's a good trade. They could have tried to cheese that through before playing their creatures, because I would have let it go through, because we don't want to block with like a Swiss Spear or anything. So Nemesis blocks well enough, I suppose. Speaking of like Monstrous Rage, right? They still have 2 cards in hand we don't know about. Yeah, Nemesis blocks well enough here, and maybe we can take out both these creatures before they do too much damage. It just doesn't feel great just doing a Lightning Strike on a hero for a turn. They pass it back, guys. Wow. Maybe we do double down on Lightning Strike now. Nah, I'm gonna go for the greed. I can't believe we made it this far already. Let's just maximize the greed. Oh, man. They have 4 cards in hand we don't know about. Land, Cacophony Scamp number 2. They must be missing their boosts, right? For sure. For sure missing their boosts. Very tempting to go for a full swing and then just go Lightning Strike to their face. We get to keep Coruscation Mages around. Each Lightning Strike doing 5. I guess we could die on the backswing. It's kind of like I said, let's maximize the greed. Full swing. Let's do it. Let's see what they do here. Now, Scamp can target creatures. So, Scamp does trade into both here. Depending on what's in hand, too. Okay. Looks like we're getting 4 through. Down to 16. Now they're going to target the Coruscation Mage that's at 1. So before anything else, Lightning Strike to their face. Lightning Strike to their face. We should pop the hero. We really should. I'm sorry if we die because of this, guys. Let's see. We get them down to 6. 5th mana. Emberheart Challenger. 1 card remaining in hand. No, they hold back. Wow. Okay, well. This time I'll keep the Coruscation Mage as a blocker if we need it. See, they do have a double block into Nemesis, but pushing the damage through regardless is crazy business. They could also just go... Okay, so I see. That does make sense. But now we'll be able to... How do we want to do this, right? We're taking 3 damage on the Nemesis at one time. I guess we hit their face, and then their 1 damage is going to be dealt to the Coruscation Mage. So I actually should have swung with this then, right? I think so. Yeah, we're going to go face instead of hero, because I think we can get there, and I don't think their 1 hero is going to get there, right? I could be wrong, though, especially since we're seeing a lot of mana. If we see mana off the top, we're in danger, but any of our burn, 2nd hero, more mana. Speaking of flooding out, the opponent is also flooding here. Good draw. We take 1 from the hero. It's a really good draw, guys. It really is. Again, any of our burn will get us there. Ooh, Screaming Nemesis is pretty good. We're forcing a block into the Nemesis so we can swing with the 1/1 here. We poke 1 more damage through. Yeah, the opponent is stuck between a rock and a hard place for real. Because how do they deal with the Nemesis? Emberheart Challenger as a blocker. GG opponent. Wow. Now, I don't know if the Duress was like absolutely essential there, but hitting their only boost spell, I would say was pretty significant that game. What do you guys think? Dreadmaw's Ire was their only boost. Look at this. How lucky did we have to get? That's just a pile of creatures. That is not what Rakdos Fling usually looks like. And speaking of Rakdos Fling, they could have had their own Screaming Nemesis too, so it does feel like we're getting a little lucky, huh? We're about 31 minutes into the video. Let's push it a little overtime, win or lose. Who the heck cares, man? I'd say the deck list showcased itself beautifully. Just really far more aggressive than I would have imagined. And it's really nice having these deck lists where you gotta push the greed, because greed is really fun sometimes, right? Oh, another hand where we're just not seeing the double black for the Cornered by Black Mages. All right, well, we'll give it a shot. And we're going to be very patient with the Boltwave. As we saw, patience in this deck list is part of the greed, too. You just hold off until you actually have a bunch of the other mages on the board. Right, and turn 2 is going to be a Black Mage's Rod in case we see more. Oh, a nice Opera Love Song. That's something I wanted to see today, too. Blazemire Verge. Ow, my face. Alright, if we can see 4th mana, then I might save the Coruscation Mage. What would be really nice off the top is a swamp or something. So that way we can pop their Otter or whatever they end up playing here. And generate a wizard too. Yeah, all the dual land packed in for a very good reason, as we saw today. Quarry Steelcutter, Cornered by Black Mages. Maybe we should just see more off the top with the Opera Love Song before playing land. Find a land, maybe go Boltwave for the turn 2. Unlikely to be a tapped land. Actually, impossible to be a tap. No, Lindblum. Lindblum would be. We wait till the end of their turn. Okay. I guess we should play cards. I suppose. I'll wait till the end of their turn here. And we will use Boltwave at sorcery speed. It does 4, and we're still swinging for 2 as well. And then the Opera Love Song at the end of their turn. Yeah. Yeah, going... Like, I just got done saying how fun it is to go greedy. This is not one of those times to be greedy, I would say. But we still wanted to push as much damage through as possible and utilize our extra mana here, too. Alright, in desperate need of the second black mana for the Cornered by Black Mages. However, they're going to easily sacrifice the monks and not even worry about it. Keeping Slickshot Show Off around to swing in the air is terrifying. Also, if we think they're just going to pop the monks anyways, then we might as well. Oh, we have 2 open here, so they were deciding what to do. Maximize damage with a Monstrous Rage maybe, or Storm Chaser's Talent. Since they don't know what's in hand, I agree with the opponent's play. If that's what they were deciding there, right? That easily could be what they were deciding. Yeah, because if they maximize damage in the air with the Monstrous Rage and we pop the Slickshot Show Off on the stack, that would have been brutal for him. They still got 5 damage rolling through. We'll scare them with this open mana until the very last moment. Okay, down to 14. See 2 off the top. Not get punished by seeing 2 mana. Oh, not get punished by seeing any mana. Oh, crap. Oh, no. Okay, well, Burst Lightning at least hits the show off. That's great news, man. So Duress from over here. First of all, we're taking 1 down to 13. Let's see what's in their hand. They go down to 11. Yeah, the Monstrous Rage. Yeah, I was thinking that that's what they were deciding between. Into the Flood Maw is really good for them too, but it literally has to be Monstrous Rage, right? It just helps them push way too much through. A Sleight of Hand can help them find another one, but I mean, we got to be a little realistic here, right? Now, before they untap, I say we pop the show off. They untap, draw. They don't know what's left in hand here. I think they take the 2, and I don't want to save a blocker. I think if we're going to die, we're going to die. So we're going to try to cheese this extra 2 through here too. And if they do accept the trade, they do want to do Burst Lightning, make sure we squeeze that extra damage out of the mage. And it's not a terrible trade for us, as the Prowess Otter could be deadly. All right, mana off the top, and hopefully it's a Black Source. Even so, they don't really want to go into the Flood Maw on the Black Mage's Rod, so we can recast it. So hopefully they find something on the Sleight of Hand. Well, hopefully they don't. I'm not rooting for the opponent. I swear, guys. I swear. Okay, they do find a Monastery Swiftspear. We're going down to 8 here. Mana off the top. Cornered by Black Mages. Oh, no. That's pretty bad. That's pretty bad, huh? All right, well, let's get the Coruscation Mage down. I think we're dead because they bounce Coruscation Mage. They want to wait till their turn. Prowess, prowess, prowess. That gets them to 6 damage. And then what are the odds that they miss off the top? The odds are very low that they miss off the top, but it might just be mana. It's a 5th mana there. They go Storm Chaser's Talent. Oh, Monstrous Rage ends it, though, no matter where we block. Prowess, 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 then +3 off the Rage. And then 2 less from the Mage's block as well. It doesn't really matter where we block, because anywhere we block, they put the Rage. Hey, good game opponent. Yeah, the 5th mana was pretty essential for them getting there if this last card in their hand was just more mana, right? It brings us right down to 0. Yeah, it was a good one. It was a good game. It could have really started leaning towards us had we seen an extra black source, so you guys can see why I'm opting for a 12 dual land. We might want even more, honestly. End of video pack? Wow, look at this. Double Duskborn packs. Holy cow. Oh! I collected everything from Duskborn. Cool. Alright, I guess that's good news. Hey! My 4th Titan! Let's go! I don't have to craft the 4th one now. That's one that I've been having a lot of fun with, and I keep saying, like, oh, I kind of want to craft the 4th so I can play all 4 of them in some of my deck lists, but now I don't have to craft the 4th. That's really nice. Here's the deck list again, guys. A beautiful curve. Look at this curve, guys. Look at that. Oh, that's a really nice, beautiful aggro curve. And then once we have enough land, we're looking at even more top end with the offspring on the Coruscation Mage. Every time I play Coruscation Mage in my burn deck list, it's really just a little MVP. What a little pal, man. Really fun card. Just in general, these style of abilities are really fun, poking at the opponent's face and stuff. Now we could consider more top end, like here Ashenal and stuff, but since we're poking damage through, but I think it's relatively unnecessary too. But that could have been in the honorable mentions for sure. Something else, guys. The 3 Boltwaves makes sense to me instead of like all 4, even though it is significant burn. just making sure that we're dealing with the opponent's things with burn that can hit the creatures or their face, or again, dealing with the opponent's things with duress. Duress rarely misses and usually hits something pretty good from the opponent's hand. So 3 duress, instead of like 2 duress and 4 bolt waves or something, 3 and 3 just makes a lot of sense here, huh? Desperate Measures, just having more 1 mana instant speed things that can help us deal damage to the opponent's face. Then Desperate Measures being a little bit of utility, being able to pop one of our 0/1s or something that we generated off of Cornered by Black Mages maybe, restock our hand for 2 cards. Pretty significant stuff, I would say, huh? So what else, guys? What else? Opera Love Song could easily be Ren's Resolve. Ren's Resolve is going to be rotating. Watch out for rotation, guys. Hey, we're losing cards, and it's coming up soon. What is High Noon doing? High Noon, get out of here. Why are you here? What on earth? I guess that was a bug. Anyways, Alchemy already rotated, so we can switch to Alchemy to see what's exiting the building. Blackcleave Cliffs and Sulfurous Springs. That's actually a pretty devastating loss to Rakdos aggro. So, look, I already have a starting town in here. If we're losing the Sulfurous Springs, you probably want to go up the rest of the starting towns too, right? Losing the Blackcleave Cliffs, I guess we'll have to see what kind of mana we get from the next set and everything. I heard it's like Shocklands. I have not confirmed that myself, though, so I've not looked into it. I probably should. That's probably something good to know. But if we are getting Shocklands, those will be excellent in here. Just watch out, like, especially if you're crafting the mana base in here. Look at this. Everything else appears to be rotation proof, though. That's pretty cool, right? Switch back to standard. Yeah, you'll see more and more rotation-proof builds from me in the upcoming weeks for sure. Maybe even over half of the videos. And then just a couple videos sprinkled in here with cards that I'm going to miss from rotation and stuff too, you know, sending them off. A farewell to the cards that we've just had a blast with. That's the plan. We'll see. Anyways, yeah, keep your eye on this. Don't craft any of these land. They're going bye-bye soon, like a month. So, and that'll pass by really fast. So Cornered by Black Mages, double black, holding us up a lot in a lot of those games, right? So, watch out for that too. We do need a lot of dual land. I mean, all the Blazemire Verge tapping for a black source until you have a swamp or mountain. It just kind of hit in our deck list a lot. Look, we only got 6 mountains in here, and the mountains were the most popular thing in our hand, which I'd say is pretty necessary because not only are we leaning red, but Lindblum's Adventure is also a red card too. And look, if we put the Lindblum Adventure over here as an actual card, then all of a sudden we only got hey, we have 23 mana in here. Huh. I thought we had 22 mana. Well, 23 still makes sense since Lindblum also has the adventure side generating wizards. Yeah, no, 23 still makes sense, especially since we have a top end of Circle of Power, Kuja. We didn't see Kuja today. Honestly, it probably would have just died to some spot removal or gotten bounced back to our hand. I'd say this is relatively unnecessary. Kuja is also a rare too. So if maybe you only got one of these, don't bother crafting the other one. Just go up more burn or something, or more ways to deal with the opponent's things. If you look really closely, we have no ways to deal with the opponent's graveyard. Sometimes you just can't deal with everything in every single deck list that you put together, right? All of a sudden, if you're trying to deal with everything, every single deck list, all of a sudden you're a mid-range deck list. And that's not what we're trying to do here at all. We're just trying to be fast and fast enough to actually push the damage through before the opponents reanimate or whatever, right? But like Strategic Betrayal could be a really good removal to go up here and works really well as to get around ward costs and stuff, like against those Tolarian Terrors, for example. We saw Cornered by Black Mage sacrifice one. Strategic Betrayal or 2 could have been really good in here as well. Or Dreams of Steel and Oil could be decent, and you could consider trading out the Duress for Dreams and Steel and Oil, depending on what you're seeing in the meta. But Dreams of Steel and Oil is another card that is rotating too, but sometimes you still have to build around the meta that you are personally seeing, so just something to keep an eye on, I suppose, for sure. All right, guys. So yeah, with Lindblum's being an adventure, we're leaning even further red, and if you're looking at it like this, where Blazemire Verge, what if it never gets powered up? Well, now we have a split between black and red. Now, hopefully you get the Verge to power up so you have more red sources on the board, which is pretty important if you want to double down on like Burst Lightnings on the same turn or something. So honestly, I don't know. It kind of feels like we got a little unlucky not seeing the second black source in some of those games for the Cornered by Black Mages. So you guys let me know. Should we just go up more dual land, a couple more starting towns or something? I don't know. I have no idea. I'm confused. I'm dazed, confused. No, I think the mana base should be fine. Maybe drop a mountain, go up a second starting town or something. And then again, keep an eye on the mana base. Don't craft anything. If you were trying to build this deck list and you did not want to craft anything, there are some decent budget land options from Duskmourn. These Razor Trap Gorge, it enters tapped unless a player has 13 or less life, which is all of the time. If you're up against hyper aggro, you're already at 10. So Razor Trap Gorge coming down as an excellent Rakdos land all of a sudden, right? If you're up against other deck lists, then hopefully you're draining their life fast enough and they're already below 13 life, and then you can get the Razor Trap Gorge down. The main reason we don't see a lot of people playing this is, well, number one, you know, there's better land in Standard. But number two, if it holds up your first couple turns, if you only see Gorge for the first 2 turns, then there's no way for you to be fast enough to actually drain the opponent below the 13 life. So, it's just a couple really slow early turns all of a sudden, right? That doesn't take away from the fact that this is an excellent budget land. So that's something to look into. It's not rotating either. It's just a common, which is really, really nice. You really don't want to go up the other tapped lands, even though I guess you could consider like Ruckus Theater since it's a swamp and a mountain, so it works well with the Verge too, but you really don't want those extra tapped lands, I would say, by any means. Fabled Passage could be considered for the deck list, especially since we have a surprise 23 mana. Like I said, I thought it was 22. Fabled Passage is good mana fixing, good deck thinning as well. Not necessarily a deck that you want to thin, but in some of those matches, deck thinning could have really come in handy. So Fabled Passage also grabbing our basics, again, just powering up the Blazemire Verges, which is pretty good, right? So cool stuff, man. I like this a lot. Way more aggressive than I would have thought. So guys, if you made it this far into the video, for real, y'all are champions. I super duper appreciate ya. Let me know what you would add or take out down in the comments. Like I said, this was a suggestion down in the comments from multiple people, actually. So thank you for the suggestions. You guys really wanted to see a Rakdos Wizards. So, well, I called it Rakdos Burn because, you know, Nemesis isn't a wizard or anything, but still lots of wizards packed in. All right, guys, enough rambling, huh? I will see you in the next video.